Super Mario Odyssey's Luigi Balloon World is a really addicting minigame. I never thought playing hide and seek in a Mario game would be this fun. That is, until some people exploit and abuse the out of bounds glitch and place their balloons in locations that are impossible to reach otherwise and normally should be. Jackass, Mario shouldn't be able to go through the wall outside of the map. Well, with how the game is currently programmed, he can. An old wise man once said, if you can't beat him, join them, and after joining them, not only can you be able to beat them, the game becomes a lot more fair and easier to play. Okay, not that fair since not everyone can do these and not everyone will see this video, but this video will show you exactly how to get out of bounds in Luigi's Balloon World and how to reach these ridiculous balloons, ruining the hider's day and creating a more even playing field for at least a decent amount of players. Whether you want to go out of your way to pop these balloons or just avoid them if you can't out of disbelief or endless practicing. So share this video if you want to help the Mario Odyssey Luigi's Balloon World community as I expose how and where some players place their balloons behind walls and structures and all around impossible places. Forewarning, I don't cover every balloon's hiding spot as not every clip and area I'll be able to show, but the methods and moves shown here will most likely be evidence to set spots and it'll be a matter of piecing the rest of the mostly finished puzzle. How to get out of bounds in Super Mario Odyssey requires a set of 4 button presses and moves to clip through walls and boundaries. Some also require less skill than others as well, but this covers a large basis of out of bounds locations. If you want to clip through walls, you'll have to do a cappy cancel after rolling from a ground pound. What a cappy cancel is when you ground pound, but throw cappy to immediately halt your momentum and stop in place. This is done by ground pounding and hitting Y and then B almost at the exact same time. This is how players clip through walls because this gives Mario a very tiny window to clip through most solid objects. In order to do this, you have to jump, ground pound, roll, and then cappy cancel by hitting Y and B almost at the same time. Again, that's hitting B, then ZL, then X, and then almost immediately hitting Y and B at the same time. Yeah, I know, it's a little tricky and annoying to get it right after a while, but trust me, with enough practice and patience, you too can get those balloons back there popped. Where to do these generally comes down to where a slightly less solid wall may be located, but this works best and is most common where a door and a few small stairs and or a surface where water meets land may be located. You often see in the Metro Kingdom, for example, some out-of-bounds balloons are inside skyscrapers you normally be unable to reach. That's because some players actually do that ground pound cappy cancel in front of the doors of some skyscrapers and clip through. It's more frame perfect than it has been before, but I cannot stress enough, if you could do it at least once, it gets easier and easier to do afterwards. But again, not every out of bounds balloon does this. To make it easier, I'll cover some infamous out of bounds balloon spots in several kingdoms as examples, as I couldn't even find some to pop. In the Mushroom Kingdom, you'll see several people place their balloons underneath the front door and bridge to Peach's Castle, where its range from the starting point is roughly mid to high 20s. Well, this is one of the easier out of bounds balloons to do, as you'll need the scooter for this, and you can find one near the lake east of the castle or by the Crazy Cap shop. Drive up to the bridge and hit the wall between the door and railing. Turn the bike so it's parallel to the wall you just hit and do a light hop forward on the first small white ledge on the side of the bridge and make sure the scooter is pointing upwards on its bottom. Jump twice afterwards and you'll fall right inside the stone bridge and hide your balloon out of sight. Moving to the Cascade Kingdom, jump on down to the area where the first Power Moon would be and run up to the rock where the grass and water meet next to the waterfall. Remember when I said where water and land meets earlier as a common location to clip through walls out of bounds? Line Mario up to the wall, ground pound, roll, and cappy cancel with Y and B simultaneously and you'll be able to swim inside the rock. But be careful because the window here is very small and if you're not careful to go too fast through it, you'll fall and die. And like I mentioned before, the place where water and land meet up against the wall is also likely how some other balloons are located in the Mushroom Kingdom and other hiding spots in kingdoms that won't be mentioned in this video, as there are other clips in both lakes in the Mushroom Kingdom that so far I'm not sure how to do, but if anything, it's likely basically up against a wall where the water and land meet, like I said. Moving to the Wooded Kingdom, there is a clip Glydon can still do by jumping down to the Iron Road halfway point. Up against the grass wall, if you mess around with it a little, you could clip straight through and glide through Steam Gardens and see some platforms and caves and rooms from the outside. However, some platforms are invisible while others are intangible, and you'll have to glide to the right as soon as you jump, or you'll go on the other side and likely die. The spot where Glydon can clip through has some flowers under his feet, forming a tiny circle, so you can use that as a guiding point. Moving to the Lake Kingdom, there is a spot all the way near the Odyssey's location, and just like in the Cascade Kingdom, where the water and sand meet, ground pound, roll, and Cappy cancel into a wall here, and you'll find a large mass of water inside the wall. Also, near the giant bowl, if you take out one post and use a Cheep Cheep in this location, you can jump out into the wall and go out of bounds here too. Next, in the Lost Kingdom, this one requires little effort, but potentially lots of patience. Near the starting point, come to the entrance of this cave and crouch. Inch Mario up against this corner right here, and with some experimentation, you can just clip right through and potentially fall into a few inaccessible areas. However, this attempt is more trial and error, as one wrong move can trigger a transition as if you entered a different room and will send you back where you started. Thankfully, it's not far at all. Don't go too far to the right at least, but a couple other directions trigger it too, so again, you'll have to experiment a little and be patient. Moving on, the Metro Kingdom is a treasure trove of clipping. Lots of skyscrapers can be passed through using their front doors. Not even kidding, by again, ground pounding with ZL, rolling with X, and Cappy canceling with Y and then B nearly at once. There's several places in the kingdom you can do this, so you can actually go a little crazy and potentially even climb the buildings from the inside, depending on the skyscraper. And the last kingdom for this video, the Seaside Kingdom, which after seeing the Mushroom and Lake Kingdoms, you already know what to expect. Head in the direction of the Lighthouse Tower and land on the rock connected to the island where the sea meets it, and facing the rock to the side. Jump, ground pound, roll, and Cappy cancel at the right position and time to clip through and swim under the vast sea. It's honestly beautiful seeing the big ocean inside the rocks inside the ocean. And that's the general gist of how to go out of bounds and hide or pop balloons, or know which ones to avoid at least. Again, there are more clipped and hidden balloons than this video shows, but this covers most of those balloons and how to get them. It's just a matter of location, Cappy canceling through doors, walls where water and land meet, or other circumstances. Hopefully this video helped you learn how to go out of bounds, what locations to find and hide balloons, or which ones to avoid. And if you want to find my own balloons, which I do encourage you to do, here are my codes on screen. Fair warning, any kingdom shown off in this video can pretty much summarize where my balloons are located. Unless you know how to clip out of bounds, or you don't feel like going after them, then by all means I don't recommend doing so. Unless you feel confident in those, I do recommend you give it a shot. And also, the other kingdoms not shown in this video are in bounds and obtainable by more people. I recommend someone try my Luncheon Kingdom balloon at least, as that spot took a while for me to reach and is significantly harder than usual. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more Super Mario Odyssey and other Mario, Paper Mario, and Nintendo things in the future. Stay super.